we sat down in a restaurant.
Did you send him back to his mangrove?
Bar.
Did you say, get the fuck out of here?
He invaded our mangrove. So like, I just walked away. I'm like, go, you're an asswipe. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Madge Unmuted with me, your host, Madge Madigan. Hello and welcome. And with me, as always, we're doing things a little bit different today, but with me, as always, is my lovely and talented producer, Fitz.
Hi. Hi, Madge.
Hi.
You're glowing.
He's in a new place. Yes, I am. That's what happens when you vacation next to a nuclear plant. And also with me, as always, is the lovely and talented Christopher.
Hey, you are glowing.
Hi.
It's like the Golden Globes.
I am glowing.
The Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes, yes.
Globes right here. Yes.
Push up those globes.
Yes, I just got back from vacation. Everybody. So yes, I'm glowing. I'm awfully excited. Did we mention who else we have with us today?
Well, he's not really on,
Can we
but
just hear
he's
his
running
voice?
things.
I didn't.
Will? I don't think I have it set so that we can hear him.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, geez.
Oh my God. I don't know if you guys heard
We
that,
should
but, like,
if we don't.
I think my cervix just dilated
I know.
on its own. I don't know.
Jeez, I think mine did too.
Yeah, exactly.
You grew a cervix.
I
You're
think-
so
Yeah, I don't think
dilated.
you have a cervix.
I think I do now.
He does now. What's your name, Fitz? He has an intern named Will, who
Will
just
he
met-
or won't he?
I just met virtually. You guys know him, but
I call him Barry
Barry.
because he's got
Yes.
the Barry White
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
this guy has the lowest voice I have ever heard in my entire life. I'm not kidding you.
The walls literally shake while he talks.
That's what I was saying.
My
My cervix
cervix
dilated a
walls
little bit.
did, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, so here we are. Yay, we got this new little lineup here with Fitz and Chris in the same room.
It's better.
And
It's pretty cool.
It's better. Like,
Is it
Weird.
fun?
Yeah,
It's
it's a little
weird.
weird.
It's a little weird.
but it's good.
I feel so left out.
Oh,
I'm
come
having control issues.
Yeah. Is this your seat?
No.
Like-
Oh, because you could.
No, 'cause I'm-
because of him.
yeah,
Oh.
'cause I'm-
He's fine.
Look up, guys. Control issues like incontinence or because you're not controlling the board.
Don't piss me off, or
Yeah,
I'll
that-
piss all over the
How
place.
does
Jeez.
now you know what it feels like to be a woman? You're not
I
in
know,
control
right?
of anything.
Oh,
Anyway, speaking of that, so somebody made a joke that when I was away that the country is falling apart. But we're not going to get into that because I'm trying to stay away from that. I'm just
positive.
losing my fucking mind. But anyway,
yeah, you mustn't do that.
I'm going to cut that out. Anyway, yeah, I've been trying to stay away from that. But you know who hasn't been trying to stay away from that? A lot of people I met on vacation, and that's what I'm going to tell you about today.
Oh, you were in Florida.
Oh.
Oh, good
Yeah.
God. Oh, good God.
Yeah. Yeah. What you just did was pretty much what I did my whole life. And okay.
Grabbed your
my
pearls?
whole life. My
Clutched
whole
your pearls?
I did. Clutch the pearls and pass the gravy. It was pretty awful.
Did they
and
know you were a northerner? Could they tell?
Okay.
A New
here's
Yorker?
No, this was other vacationers.
Oh.
And even John, who is like slightly, not slightly, John's right leading, and I am not.
I did not know about that dichotomy. Interesting.
Did you not? Oh,
I did not.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it makes for some interesting conversation. We try and stay away from it for most times, but for most of the time, but John has this way, and sorry, honey, but I'm gonna tell everybody. Like, so he thinks like he's super understanding and open-minded, which
Don't most men?
he is.
That's like
to a
those people
degree.
who think they have a sense of humor.
But the thing about him is that he is your typical type A, retired Marine, lieutenant colonel, helicopter guy, he's
Talk about control issues.
yeah. So he's in it to win it. So we're not just like discussing issues. He's go out to win the argument, which it's not an argument to win. It's just discussing an issue.
Yeah.
And so, love you, honey, but he doesn't listen to what I'm saying. He's jumping ahead to but what about you? And you guys don't want to do this. And I'm like,
the whataboutisms.
yeah. But also he doesn't even let me finish a sentence because he thinks he knows what I'm going to say. So anyway, it's not here to bash John time, but
No, we love John.
no, we love John. I love John. He's a good guy. He's a very good guy. So, but what I think, and now this might get me in trouble, but, I think now anybody that we talk to down there, I think that I cringe when I say this, and I may just edit this out, but when you said something about they see a northerner, no, I think that white men, or for the most part, white women see another white person and think they can say whatever they want now.
Oh, right, because they're in friendly company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And then you were like, oh, hell.
I hate to make such a bold statement or whatever, but the shit that came out of their mouths after the fact was very, very much that. So, I just got to tell you about. So, let me preface. I had a phenomenal vacation. It was wonderful. I am so blessed to be able to go on a vacation and have John pay for it all.
Nice.
For the most part. And no, because he has so many points from being a pilot, and he stays somewhere every night in a hotel and flies, so we pretty much, it's all flying points and hotel points. Anyway, so a lovely, lovely, lovely time. However, there were some people that I don't think these people existed. They existed, but they weren't so emboldened before this. I've never experienced this.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
For people to just start talking shit without even doing. Before, they even just used to give you the courtesy of.
Right. Maybe even whisper.
Yeah, right. I'm not racist, but now they just go to, but it's not just like racism. It is about every hot button issue you can think of. And it's just, so there's one guy, this resort that we went to in Key Largo, like it has these neat little private little mangroves, and you have like Adirondack chairs in there, and you can sit in them and in the water and whatever. So this guy comes and plops down next to us, and I figured he was kind of an asshole because he started humming really loudly. So he was like a decent, good looking guy, probably around our age, looked like he was, upper income bracket. I don't know. But he's sitting there just going, Now, the whole main point of these mangrove things is they're a nice private little setting. So he comes down, he starts humming, and I'm just like, Jesus, Mary, Joseph. So anyway, at some point, he starts like just telling us all about my first clue was he's like, I don't know, he made some small talk to us after a while, and he's like, oh, well, my wife's not coming down because right before we left, we were at a party, and he's just to tell us that she had the flu and she's in the room, but it took him like 10 minutes to get to the point. And then he's like, yeah, she's got the flu. And he said, yeah, but, thanks, Fauci, for these 19 different strains of things now. And I'm like, and
I didn't know that he created it all.
He did.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and here we go, and I swear to God, I never want to get political on this show for the most part, because I know that like I'll lose possibly half my audience.
Oh my
I don't mean that those
Yeah,
type
no.
of people. It's just like you never know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'll kind of tell you. I just don't think. My point is that don't start spouting off shit that you have no idea what the person that you're speaking to believes in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he says that. Then I kind of like ignored him. John eventually starts talking to him and he's like, oh, so where are you from? And he's like, oh, Boise, Idaho. He first starts talking about his business, whatever.
Boise.
It's ignoring. Then what'd you say?
Oh, Boise.
Oh, Boise.
Yeah. So he starts talking about, well, I just love it up there because, nobody bothers you. Everybody's got a gun. There's none of this, the police, you can start just shooting first and asking questions later. And
There's no black people. There's no brown people.
Oh, well, so yeah.
Women make your sandwiches for you. So
that's the part that he almost said out loud, but said out loud. So he goes, yeah. And then, we just if there's a shoplifter running out of, the store, people just, tackle him and beat the shit out of him and just, and wait until the cops come and then they'll drag him off and, whatever. And I'm like, okay, for shoplifting, but okay. And then he's like, yeah, and then, there's none of this,
I know, right.
Thank God we got rid of, when all 2020 and all that came in, that LGBTQIA and that BLM and stuff. And they got, thank God we got them out of there. And I'm like, and there it is. And he goes, my one daughter lives in Portland and, she hates it up there. And, it's not diverse enough for her. And I'm like, I like your daughter.
I know. Could you go back to your own mangrove, please? Yeah.
But he just starts talking like he assumes every other white person believes the same. Oh, so then he goes, so where are you from? And I'm like, so down there. I just tell everybody Buffalo. I'm 30 minutes from Buffalo. Right. I'm from Buffalo, from Buffalo. And John's like, oh yeah, from Syracuse, near Syracuse. And then he's like, oh, well, I don't know. He just starts talking about crime rates and shit, and so he goes, well, how do you like it up there? And I'm like, oh, I really like it. I'm like, it's great. Oh, he started to make, New York. Oh, yeah.
Bunch of liberal bastards.
Yeah, exactly. So I said, oh, yeah, I really like Buffalo. And he's like, oh, I forget. He started to say something, and I'm like,
shoplifters?
Yeah. Oh,
whether they're guilty or not.
I know. Right?
Right. And he had to make a thing about, he was glad that the NFL ended putting end racism on their helmets. And
because we don't need to end that.
No, let's not end that. Of all the things we need to end, for the love of God.
My point is,
read the crowd, read the room. Right.
Exactly. But it didn't stop there. He was about the fifth person that did that. And I'm just like,
oh no, they all got a get out of jail free card now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They could say whatever the hell they want and it doesn't matter because no one's going to say anything. And if they do, they're backed up by the president of the United States.
Right.
So
I just don't know how. When do we go back to it's not okay to say this stuff?
I don't.
And even when
It'll be a while.
Yeah.
When I say
that,
might not be
alive.
I get shit from people. Like, oh, I could say whatever I want. Like it's become this bizarro land of where
Stones.
Free speech. It's like you do not even know what the fuck free speech means.
Free speech, unless you're saying something that I don't agree with, and then no.
Yes.
Right.
But anyway,
but it's also
not talking about
speech.
politics.
No.
But here's the fun. Right. Okay. Should I just explanation of free speech, which I find is laughable right now because, those type of people will be like, free. I can feel free to insult anybody I want because free speech. And then meanwhile, you get the new administration that's cutting out anybody that doesn't have any loyalty to them. Like, that's literally on this Doge application now, like, to use it for. So that's what free speech was created for, so that you could speak out against the government or leaders or other thing, and the government could not
retaliate.
Retaliate. Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah.
Alas, here we are.
Alas.
Well, I'm just, this is what I'm waiting for, and they already have versions of this, but I'm waiting for when, you know how when people join the military and they do they swear them in, they do the oath, and they swear to protect the Constitution, defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and
domestic.
Yeah.
But just as soon as you hear that he is now, I'm just waiting for the time where the allegiance is no longer the Constitution.
Yeah, it's to him.
But it's to him or to the president. This is exactly what Hitler did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the problem is there's so many parallels to that. I've been studying Nazi Germany my entire adult life. That's just like my hobby. Like I'm totally enamored with World War II and everything that happened during those times. And so seeing this all happen again is just driving me crazy.
Yeah, and I studied it my entire life inadvertently because my father was a World War II vet.
Right.
And that's all.
What would your dad say? What do you think your dad would say with all this?
Speechless.
He would be rolling in his grave. He's spinning his grave, rolling in his grave. His ashes are all aflutter. My mother too. Oh, my mother would be screaming and hollering, and they were. I can't. Yeah, my father would be incensed, and my father was a Democrat. But yeah, my father would have seen this writing on the wall, but it just. I didn't want to get into this, but
it's, you know what though. In all reality, it's practically impossible not to get into this. And to be honest, more people should be getting into this. This is a conversation that everybody should be having as much as possible, because I think one of the reasons why we're in the spot that we're in is because too many people avoided it because they didn't want to have that conversation with people. And so much has happened. My parents... my dad, let's put it this way. My dad, next to his desk, he's got a picture of Jesus and a picture of Trump and Mrs. Trump. And I have my middle child is trans. So he thinks that his grandparents don't love him and are ashamed of him because of what the administration is promoting when it comes to LGBTQ plus that community. So he thinks that his grandparents hate him and want him dead. That's the reality that I'm living with. And so I had to tell them, it's probably not a good idea you guys come up here for my daughter's graduation.
Yeah.
You all right, Madge?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's just...
it's tough.
That just breaks my heart, and I'm not being... Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Don't be
But
sorry.
that's the reality that a lot of families are living in.
I know how many people that feel that way, and the fact that people don't fucking understand that granted, you don't have to like it or believe it, or you don't have to don't be a transgender person then, but don't.
The problem is the misinformation. There's tons of fake stories out there that get everybody all riled up about this and that, and most of them are not true, and the ones that are true are rare. It's just like, claiming that all of these trans people are actually pedophiles that want to go sneak into the men's room or the ladies' room just to get it's not the case. These are just people who want to feel right in their own skin. They want to feel who they are, and they've been not feeling like themselves their entire lives, and now they have the opportunity to do that.
But they need the support of the community.
But they do, and
they don't. I mean, and when it comes from the highest levels against them, that's
and all in the name of a man who would be friends with everyone. It's in Jesus's name, right? This Jesus Christ fella that lots of people worship.
Yeah.
He would have been the friend of the gay man and the lesbian woman and the trans person and the gender
because that's
fluid.
not who they're really.
Anyone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Black, brown, whatever.
I'm sorry. That stuff just breaks my heart. The fact that you'll condemn another person, like I don't even condemn, like Trump. I had a lot of friends when they had the assassination Trumps. Assassination Trumps. When they had
attempted
assassination attempts, and people like, oh, wish they'd hit him, wish they whatever. And I was just like, my mother just taught me never to say things like that. I wish this man, even though I wish that this man never existed on some plane, because I don't think we'd be where we were had this not, but I don't wish him to perish.
Right, because you're a decent human freaking being.
I also have compassion for him because how fucked up was his upbringing that he's like this?
Oh, yeah.
Like anything you hear about his family, what a fucking train wreck. I'm not justifying or excusing it, but it's like.
But that's true. I mean, it's
that's just the way I'm. Yeah. I brought up to have compassion. So when you were, it just broke my heart when you're talking about your situation and the other thing though is when people make that out to be like their number one thing. Do you realize exactly how small, how minuscule the trans community is?
Oh, I know.
In the United States, in the grand scheme of things, especially this, trans athletes, specifically trans women competing in women's sports. Okay, because at a certain point, there's a biological advantage. Yeah, that kind of bums me out because like the collegiate swimmer, okay, who was blowing everybody out of the water. Like, that's not fair to me. But anyway, I digress. However, that's up to that sports league or the sports, you know what I mean? Like whatever, if it was their swim, their conference is the Ivy League, that's up to them or their school or their whatever, Do you know that it's like 0.01% of athletes in the United States are transgender? And that's what you're choosing to go after? And then when you bring up all the shit that everybody else brought up, oh, we're worried about the price of eggs. And now you bring up the price of eggs and it's like, oh, well, when essentially it's really, and I've known this from the beginning and you guys all know this, it's an assault on a culture that they don't agree with. Any social issue, any part of a culture that they don't like, any sort of value, any sort of moral, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're.
The irony of them using morals as any kind of framework to any of these philosophies is laughable. It's beyond laughable. Because don't talk to me about morals. I mean, look at between the two powerful guys running this country. What are there, like 6 wives and 13 children between the two of them?
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No,
tell me about
there's
morals.
seven women
And how many
7.
and rapes
and
and all the other
18
things,
children
Yeah. Yeah.
between two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
well, and it's an attempt at cleansing anything that they don't like. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
It's likened to ethnic cleansing.
and
so-
and the irony that they don't understand that it's like that's what any dictatorship that's gone
Yes.
before.
Oh yeah. Well, the writing's on the
Them-
wall. It's pretty darn clear what's happening and what's going to continue to happen.
That not all-withstanding, I swear this was not where this was going to go today. But
Can't we just have a nice vacation in the sunshine, man?
exactly, I'm going to get to that. But like my thing still is nobody fucking elected Elon Musk. He doesn't even have any fucking security clearance. He wasn't hired by anyone. He wasn't approved by Congress. He wasn't a whatever. Then he's got these little teenage mutant ninja douchebags that are doing his stuff. Okay, and I have to
That's
give credit to my
hysterical.
brother-in-law Jim for that one. But these little that don't know a shit about shit, and they're coming in and cleaning things, and he's doing just what like he did with Twitter, like I'm gonna be the big bad guy and I'm gonna clean everybody out. But it's like, oh, then after the fact I'm gonna realize, oh shit, I know you're the only guy that knows how to turn on this machine. So okay, we're gonna hire you back for half your thing. I mean, this is some
It's not an audit, it's a coup.
yes,
That's what it's, an administrative coup.
it absolutely is.
And anyone who tells me that I can't have a problem with that, just take a step back, go back, read the damn Constitution, and come back to me. Or are you going to interpret it your own way?
That's the other thing. Yeah, that anybody, in the last, I don't know, 8 years or whatever, is all, Constitution. How many guys I've seen that have like Constitution, the preamble, the Declaration of Independence, whatever the hell, government documents on their arm, like they're some big patriot. And it's like, do you realize that none of this is following the Constitution right now? Like,
Yeah.
thank God. I gotta say, thank God for the federal judges that have been like blocked.
As long as they're still federal judges.
But the also is now they're saying, well, why do we even have to listen to federal judges? And if they don't, who's going to enforce it?
There's nobody.
There's
I mean,
nobody
even
to
the Supreme Court, they can make a determination. It doesn't have to be followed. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because who's going to enforce what the Supreme Court says?
the DOJ, which is
Right. So, I mean, there's just all of the guardrails are gone.
yeah.
And getting back to what you said, the guardrails on people's mouths are gone because when you witness things happening like that at the very highest level with our framework of what keeps our country whole, then if they realize that doesn't matter anymore, then their mouths don't matter anymore.
Right.
Their opinions don't matter. Their hurtful rhetoric doesn't matter. That's what you experienced on vacation is that all the guardrails are gone.
You are absolutely correct. And I have a lot of friends around here who, as a matter of fact, like there's a group of us who happen to be Democrats and we're in the minority, like a really small minority. And and a lot of people that we know are very vocal. And they're very much they're the type of people that like, I'm right and you're wrong. This is the right thing to do. That it's not just their opinion anymore. Like this is right and this is wrong. And then I'll have even people that'll say to my face like, oh yes, well I like to see other people's point of view. And then I turn around on Facebook, they're like, it's about time democracy's back and blah, 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 and it's like, so I feel like I can't say anything because mostly for my own peace of mind. Like, I just want to preserve my peace. But at the same time, I told another friend of mine, I swear to God, I feel like, and Fitz, you'll get this reference. I feel like I'm somehow like now I'm part of the French resistance. It's like we got to meet in the middle of the street. And with nobody, has their phones, and no one can read our lips, and God forbid anybody catch us talking about that we don't like what's going on.
Yeah.
A mob will come out of the woodwork and beat us where we stand, and that's just how I feel now.
And these are people who we've grown up with, that we've lived next to for decades, that our kids have gone to school with, that we see at the baseball games and the football games that we run into at the grocery store. And suddenly now they're judge, jury, and executioner because you don't like, because you have a problem with what's going on, and how dare you? I mean, it's a mirror of what happened in Nazi Germany. And the Gestapo, back when they had the Gestapo, the secret state police, there's this myth that the Gestapo was everywhere and was like omniscient, and they weren't. There was like 3 or 4 Gestapo agents in a certain area, but they used to pay informants. So everybody, and times were so terrible economically then, that everybody would gladly go on the payroll and drop the dime on the guy next door who they happen to hear him say, "Oh, that Hitler's a jerk." Now there's a knock at the door, and they're like, "Come with me, please. Papers." Where did you think you were going, Dr. Jones? Sorry.
So if after this podcast airs, you don't see me anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So anyway, I'm gonna get back to this, because I actually do. I have a hard stop again in 15 minutes, because I got to go to another freaking board meeting at the country club, which I thought there was going to be one in February because it's closed right now, but no, we still got to go and talk about shit. But anyway, real quick before I forget, I forgot to show you. Remember last time I talked about
vodka?
My Tumblr game?
Yes.
Yeah, vodka. I need some vodka right now. I kind of upped it. I forgot my daughter gave me this for Christmas, and I'm going to use it, but it's kind of loud.
Oh.
Wow.
Isn't that lovely?
Is that a fish? What is that?
It's a bird.
Oh, it's a boyd.
It's a boyd. It looks like a flamingo.
Oh.
Like a flamingo.
Wow. That would last 7 seconds in my house.
Yeah, it's glass. But does it look better than...
It holds lots of vodka.
Oh, that's totally much...
Oh, yeah, it's much more feminine.
Much better than the pint glass.
It makes a lot of noise.
Can't you drink out of his mouth? Or it doesn't... Is that not a straw?
And you thought
it's like baby birding
was going in a bad direction
right,
then.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, so wait, can I tell you real quick about... So wait. So there was one jerk
your jerks are exhausting. That's all I can say. Holy moly.
Everywhere we were, every time we sat down in a restaurant,
Did you send him back to his mangrove?
Bar.
Did you say, "Get the fuck out of here"?
He invaded our mangrove. So I just walked away. I'm like, go, I can't, I don't, you're an asswipe. And, so anyway, and then he's talking about, this is my wife, blah, 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 and we met and whatever, but my second wife, and
of course,
blah, blah, blah.
Of course.
And I'm like, yeah, no wonder, asshole, you're on your however, I don't even know what number wife, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th. So anyway, he was one. So every time we sat down, somebody they gotta throw in some little snippet to see where you stand on things.
Yeah, little poke.
And some don't even care. They just want to throw out, "Oh, thank God we got a new president." Okay.
Yeah,
Can we?
it's
I'm gonna
working
find
out
another place.
swimmingly.
So then this other lady. This doesn't have anything to do with politics, thank God. But so we decided to go to this public beach in Marathon, because our thing had our own beach, but John decided that it was too crowded. And so we're going to drive an hour to Marathon. And so, yeah, we go there and it's just as crowded. And it was filled with people that have no idea how to behave on a public beach, let alone a private one.
It was Florida.
So this
Florida,
lady,
yeah. It's
she's
Florida.
a good 30 feet. I don't know. I'm terrible at distance. A car length and a half away from me.
It's about
We set up our towels and her phone rings. And John gets up right away and decides that he's going to go walking around, take a little walk around. And I'm like, I want to lay down for a minute in the sun. This woman gets on the phone and does not get off for a good 45 minutes. And she was talking so loud, and I don't know who she was talking to, but the husband went away and then he came back and then he's like, oh, who are you talking to? I thought she said Fran or Frank or something. And he's like, hey, Fran. And he walks away again. And she's on the phone and she spends 15 minutes on their dinner the night before, how, well, I want a shrimp, and I asked him, I'm like, can you put I don't want it cold, like I want it warm, but like I want it like in this, I want it in like, in a pot, it's just like put just like a little bit of vinegar, in the Old Bay, and then like, you warm it up, and then you go, and then she was describing how to make this fucking thing for like 10 minutes. It sounded like she was just boiling shrimp with Old Bay. And so, and then she's like, and then I ordered this, and then I just wanted some rice. And then he said, oh, well, you can have this, French fries, shrimp. And I got this, and then he got that. And then, and next thing, all of a sudden we come out, and it was like, my shrimp was cold, but I think he got the Old Bay right, because I could taste that. But then I got fries, and then he brings out this whole other, it's a chicken with some French fries, and like no one ever ordered French fries. And she's going on and on and on, and I'm like, perhaps, ma'am, this is why I hate you. It's just such a pain in the ass.
Didn't you have a blow dart or something where you could just give her
God, and so
with a
great
feather?
idea.
I know, with a
it's
feather.
just how so unself-aware people are. And I
hate it when people talk in public on the phone. I
glared at her a couple times. I did the polite, like, because usually sometimes you're aware and you'll see, like, if you're on the phone and someone's like looking at you, you're like, oh shoot, am I too loud?
That's right. I am speaking out loud. Yeah.
Oh no. Brenda, I was calling her.
Karen.
In my head. She's more like a Brenda, and she's like, and now I don't want, but she was a very large woman in this big, like, moo tank top swimwear.
Tent. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, honey, perhaps maybe you should get up and do some physical exercise rather than that's rude. I shouldn't say that. That's body shaming. But I don't know. She was just like, I could tell, like, this is her favorite, like, this is her hobby. She's not an outdoors person. She just wants to sit and complain about shit on the phone to all her friends. Now, which I know might seem like I'm being a hypocrite because I'm sitting here complaining about shit, but
but not in public.
You're a storyteller. You're telling a story.
I'm telling
beach.
stories. That's it. Like,
what is the proper way to do that when somebody, they talk on the phone out loud? Like,
it's just hi. When someone
I can hear you.
Invading is disrupting your peace, disturbing your peace. It's like,
especially talking out loud on the phone like that. I can't.
It wasn't just. I took a video of it, and I took a video and put it on TikTok, and it got like a few thousand views, and people like, I would have punched her. Did you tell her to shut the fuck up? Or all these rude things. And one person said, I would have turned around and like glared at her. And I'm like, I did. She was completely unmoved. She actually stared me right back in the eyes. And then she's going on. But it's like about the most. And the other thing, I don't think she ever took another breath. I don't think the person on the other end of the phone ever said anything. And then it's like she's going on about, and she's on vacation. Of what I know, because she's talking about, well, we came down here and next year we got the same. She's even going on and on about she already made the plans down there for next year. Well, we're going to get the same Airbnb. I'm like, how about you fucking enjoy this one right now? Right here.
Quietly. Yeah.
Quietly. And so that we all can. And she's like, well, if we don't have this, we got this many rooms, but then we have the shell on the camper that we can use. And I'm like, I wanted to go and say, what are you going to use the shell on camper for?
I couldn't help but hear you.
Now.
I know. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation.
That's when you got to bring a Bluetooth speaker with you and just crank it up loud and listen to your music. And then when she's like, you go, well, I'm sorry.
And people are like, did you talk loud? It's like, I don't have the guts to do that. I just have the guts to anonymously complain about you on my podcast.
Well done.
But we don't know. And then she's going on. I don't know who she was talking to. Like, it sounded like she hasn't talked to this person in 10 years, but at the same time, they knew what she did last week. So it's like then she's going on about, well, I have my state license, but I don't have enough to do. Now I have to do the continuing education credits, so then I can get my license going on. But apparently she's talking about her real estate license and how she's going on that. And then she's publicly giving out her address, like, to this person. She's like, well, just send it to my office. It's
555.
Oh, you should have wrote it down. Sent her a card.
I know.
Something Wisconsin 5404. Yeah, go figure. She was from Wisconsin, and but that's terrible. I shouldn't. So
she likes cheese.
I wanted to say, okay. Should we all send our?
I know. Condolences.
I'm gonna send a dead fish there now. I don't know. Thanks for ruining my vacation, Brenda.
The funny thing is that she wasn't really on the phone with anyone. She was just pretending,
just going,
because she's so freaking lonely, which is actually really sad.
That is kind of sad.
But the thing is like, she wasn't pretentious. She was
oblivious. Yeah. Oblivious.
She looked like she just walked out of a bingo parlor or a meat raffle. Sorry, people. She wasn't like anything. But hear her tell it. All her shit going on was the most important shit in the entire world.
Oh my gosh.
Bitch, get a podcast and then you can talk.
And you're like, John, did you yell at John for taking you to that damn marathon? Listen.
No, actually, he knew. He's like, okay,
you're right.
We had this kind of funny tally going that, like the first night I chose this, he's like, well, you go ahead and pick. We'd be going on about, do we want to go to this restaurant, this restaurant, this restaurant? And the first night I picked a fucking horrible restaurant.
Applebee's.
And it was called the Lazy Lobster. Sorry, Lazy Lobster people, but it was one of those where total touristy things, and they get you in and out as fast. And it's like everything was stuffed. Everything was stuffed and fried, and it was all shitty seafood that was stuffed and fried. So John and I tend to like things that are a little more, we like some fresh fish that's broiled or grilled with some, spinach and I don't know, we like lighter, more thing. This is just like, it was like Bojangles on steroids. I don't know. And it was, they got in and out, and it was just terrible. And so anyway, after that one, we're like, he's like, okay, Madge 0. He's like, we're at 0-0 now. And then the next night, I'm like, he would, like, oh, let's go to this place for a drink, whatever, and we pick it. And he's like, oh, okay. John 1, Madge 0. But it was lighthearted. So after the beach, he's like, okay, that's not one for John. I'm like,
We'll go back to our private beach. Be it ever so humble.
But we did go to this really cool place called the Armory, and it was a speakeasy in a building
That's fun.
that was a VFW. I think part of it still is, but the cool thing, it's in Key Largo, and you have to go around the back, and it's if you go on Instagram and look up the Armory Key Largo, and
Was there a secret knock to get in?
you have to know the word of the day. Like they show it on, like, you have to, join their email list, or I think they have it on Instagram. But but it's a bunker. Oh. So it's this combination speakeasy and military thing, at which John was like,
I bet John loved
it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So first you have to go through this tunnel that, like, the lights are flickering,
yeah.
Bombs, and then you have to. There's this basket, and you pick up a walkie-talkie, and they say,
you say the secret word.
You say the secret word, and then you go in, and then the inside, it looks like a speakeasy, but there's all these, like, it's. Oh, Christopher, you've been in our bar. You've been in our bar in Fairhaven with all the
your
military
bar. Yeah.
personnel
She has
picture
her own bar.
people that we know.
Love that
pictures.
I know. I love
this
that.
place had the same
It was like
thing.
that.
They had local people brought in pictures of themselves or their relatives.
Awesome.
Because there's that. Then there's also like old, like, mortar shells and shit on the wall. Like
John's like, I threw that one. That's one of my grenades.
He did. And so that was really cool. And the bartender David was from Venezuela. Oh. And a guy like our age, he was 60.
Did you check his green card?
Yeah, I know. I was going to be like, enjoy it while it lasts. No, I was just mean. No, so we did try not to bring all that shit up. But then, a couple people that came down and went and sat next to us did again the, like, whoa, you came in, you did it right though. You came in legally, Meanwhile, 3/4 of the guy's family did not. And they're trying to, but they've been here for decades, and they're worried, and these people are being complete assholes. I'm like, this is the shit we're talking about, people. It's like, it's human beings' lives. It's not just like, let's just, it's like you got packing peanuts and throw them in a box and I'll ship everybody back, no matter what your circumstances. So anyway, David was wonderful. We had all these phenomenal drinks, and he was a true mixologist. Like, they had a smoker and you light it on fire. I got a video, maybe I'll post that. But anyway, so one of the guy that sat down next to us, I forget how it brought up. John said, like, I have a podcast. And he's like, oh, I'm going to look it up online. He's like, what's it called? I'm like, Madge Unmuted. And he found it. And he's like, what, Madge Unhinged? He was very sarcastic. So the whole rest of the night, he called me Madge Unhinged. And I'm like, well, you're not wrong. It's maybe a new
That's
thing.
the After Dark version, right?
Exactly. So
this episode
of Madge.
That, in a nutshell, was there were a lot more jerks, but
there were a lot more jerks, but for another time.
Once again,
so tired of what?
Florida. I said, once again, you were in Florida.
Yeah.
You were almost out of the country, though. Did you wave at Cuba?
I was going to say, do you know how close?
Close.
90 miles.
How close we are?
Close.
90 miles from Cuba,
close.
folks.
You could swim there. With those flotation devices.
Okay, everybody in this resort, people, take a look at every person who is a employee in this resort.
Oh, yeah.
Cuba.
What's the thing you realize?
Common denominator.
99% of them, English is their second language, or third, fourth, fifth. But anyway, it's not their first.
Right.
And you're more than glad for them to hand you your fucking towels, but best get the fuck out of here. And it's like, yeah, they're working their asses off. Anyway,
But
don't
I
get me
digress.
started. But I digress.
They
You better have another sip of vodka.
they stole that towel job from a white guy who didn't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who'd rather
And
go
who won't do it
The other-
when there's nobody
rather
there.
go on
Right.
unemployment than
Right.
actually
And the
work.
other thing too is every fucking other place we went off of the resort, which was most of the time. The restaurant there was terrible, and so sorry. I mean, the breakfast is okay, but we like to explore. So every time we went somewhere for dinner and drinks and whatever, every place we went to, the employees, English is not their first language. And you know what? John and I did. What my first inclination is to say some words in Spanish to them, to challenge myself, to make myself have a broader, whatever the fucking word is, to be a bigger broad.
Yeah. A bigger.
No, I mean, this one woman, we ate breakfast at this Cuban place, and she was like very broken, and she's like, I'm sorry, English is not my first language. And we said, no problema, español un poquito, what my donde está el baño, I mean, whatever we could. And she was so appreciative, and every time she put something down, gracias de nada, and it
It's called respect.
Yes, there you go.
Imagine
why is that so terrible?
It's not.
And the funny thing is they talk about, what, dirty, awful human beings, whatever. Sometimes they'll say that. It's like, they know more than one language. I'm pretty sure that takes a lot more intelligence than you have. So
We can barely master this one.
Right.
exactly. So anyway, I got off on a tangent. Seriously. Oh my God. I swear to God, next time, I don't know.
Maybe next time go to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Have some cheese.
Just not in the winter time.
Yeah, not in winter time.
It's talk really loudly
Right.
on the ice pond. Okay.
How funny.
I gotta get out of here. Anybody have any
Parting words.
No.
Nice to see
Adios.
you. Look
It's
yeah,
nice to
adios,
see-
muchachos.
Adios.
Vaya con Dios.
I am so glad to have spent. I'm so glad we had this
had this
time together. Oh God, I didn't even get to mention us watching the Saturday Night Live special.
Oh wow. Yeah, we should have a whole show on just that. 'Cause
Maybe
that was-
next week.
Yeah.
Next week. Thank God.
I'll
we're
have to
doing this
watch
once
it
a week
before
now.
then.
Once a week.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, once a week, you got Madge Unhinged or Madge Unmuted or Madge.
You never know which way it's going to go, right?
Exactly.
Unvetted, did you say?
Yes.
Unvaxxed.
Oh God.
No, definitely back. No, today is Madge on
Bridled.
Underwire. Unbridled. Underwire.
Underwire. Madge Underwire. Okay, that was really loud. Sorry. Okay, that does
jeepers.
it for me and Chris. Oh, I forget. Will, you still there?
Say something.
Hello.
Oh God.
Nice job switching there today, Will.
Switch
We're gonna put
hitter.
Name in the credits.
Switch hitter. Yeah.
Maybe now you can get your SAG card. No, just kidding. We don't do that shit here.
My green card.
So, Fitz, Chris, Will, everybody, thank you. Oh, do not forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to Madge
here.
Unmuted, Unhinged, Unfettered, Unflummoxed,
Unfettered.
Unwacked.
Unfettered. Oh.
Unmuted. That's it. And I hope
Madge
to see you
Unwaxed.
here all next week on the next episode of Madge Unmuted.